YouTube friends. Welcome to Crazy Brave Homeschool and Happy New Year. This video is very close to my heart. Language arts is my favorite subject. It's my favorite subject to teach my kids. And I've been really excited to put this compilation together of all of the different ways that we use and teach language arts in our home. We really thrive on using a huge variety of resources as well as our chosen curriculum for first grade. So I'm excited to dive in here and show you what we've been up to for the first half of first grade. So first I'll just show you the spread of resources that we've been using. The Montessori Wooden Alphabet, our curriculum, which is with Blossom and Root and Delightful Reading, and then just some favorite resources that we tend to use quite often. So we spent the first half of this year teaching my daughter her letters and her sounds. Kindergarten, we did not focus on this, and so we have been using the Montessori Pink series as well as our Simply Charlotte Mason Delightful Reading to teach her all of her letters and her sounds, and we use this alphabet box a lot for word building and blending and all that. So the exercise would go like this. I would say the word to my daughter, I would show it to her, I would have her memorize it in her mind, taking a few moments to do this, and then I would have her write it down and then build it from her movable alphabet. And I made sure to get an uppercase alphabet in addition to the lowercase for when I am using all uppercase words. And then I will have a sentence. I don't have the sentence that has the word mad in it, but I would show her a sentence and have her find the word that she had just built. Okay, so here I'm showing you some examples from our Montessori Pink series. This is something that you can purchase. I actually found a really great resource online where you could print out all of these files yourself, and having a laminator really helps. It was a big project. It probably took about 3 hours to do this, but this series is great. It's Montessori, it's not Charlotte Mason, but they have a lot of similarities. And I love that there are all these different exercises with this series because this is what we love. We love changing things up. We don't like doing the same lessons all the time. And so each of these bags are divided into different activities. The Pink series is the first series, and then I believe Blue series is after this. So once your child is excelling with reading and spelling. So let me show you some of these activities. Okay, so I've talked a bit about our language arts curriculum before. We really love Blossom and Root, but I thought I would show you what this curriculum entails for her language arts program and why we implement so many other resources, because I think with just this alone, and then of course a phonics program, it would be enough, but I don't think it would be exciting enough. But so far, this is great for what it is. The Stories We Tell is their first grade curriculum from Blossom and Root. We do a about half of what they recommend because their phonics portion of the program I don't love. So we do their copy work. She would choose one or the other sentence to write, and then she would use these lines. I don't love this format because she's definitely getting confused that she should be using the full 3 lines up here, and instead she always just uses the one. So she's writing very, very small, and she's getting really frustrated. And I'm trying to guide her in the right direction, but she just keeps doing it. So we have decided to stop using the copy work and we have a separate handwriting curriculum through Simply Charlotte Mason. What we do though is that after we read our language arts book for the week, she has a prompt that asks a question. Usually it's like a character building question, and then she would draw a picture and answer the question. So that is the literary prompt, and then there's always a narration. So we don't always do both. Most of the time we do. So then the narration would be, she would draw a picture about what the book was about, and then she would tell me and I would write it down. So this is also called notebooking. What we've loved the most about Blossom and Root has been the literature selection. We've read so many wonderful picture books mostly, and have just adored the really thoughtful book selection that Blossom and Root has put together. For phonics, so we have chosen Simply Charlotte Mason Delightful Reading Level 1 to get her going with her letters and sounds. We started that at the beginning of the year. And so this kit, I've gone over this kit before in previous videos. We love it. We love all the activities. The letter bingo is awesome. These little letter stickers, and then all of these beautiful cards that have different artwork on each deck of cards. So the cards, range from, some of them have words and pictures, and then others just have lowercase or uppercase letters. And then the teacher's guide is essentially a guide of all different activities to play. So not all of them include these cards. I'm going to show you a lot of the different activities that use a lot of household objects. But it only took us a few months to kind of fly through these, and I feel like she's at a great spot now with her letters and sounds that we are ready to move on to level B. But I am really happy with this program. I'm excited to start using this for my son very soon now. And as you can see, we skip over a lot. We just pick the ones that look good to us, and there's been plenty of these that we haven't done. And now that we are right at the beginning of second term, we're going to pull out the Delightful Reading Level 2 and start that series this week. But I don't want to give any kind of review or flip through of it until we have, done it for some time. So I'll show you guys a couple of our other favorite resources here before I show you some of those Charlotte Mason Delightful Reading activities. We love these tracing blocks. I usually set these up with our nature table. My 4-year-old has really loved those. And then I love setting up, certain words that relate to whatever, season we're in, or our unit studies. If you've seen some of my other videos, I love unit studies. So I like using our movable alphabet for setting up some words on those. Okay, so I'll show you some of the other ways that the Delightful Reading goes about their lessons. They use a lot of household objects like magnetic letters, and then they will give you an array of different games that you can play with those letters. They also have lessons using like a keyboard for her to identify letters and to start writing words. They will have you find like a cereal box, or even just like, a printout that you came up with yourself for her to identify vowels. This was a paragraph that I typed out and then gave her a highlighter and would have her highlight the vowels that she could find. She really loved the bingo games. That was a win for sure. And then we played a lot of Go Fish. So I have also utilized Pinterest to find a lot of ideas. This one asks the child to find letters that have a curve or have a straight line, or letters that have a hole or do not have a hole. This game I found on Pinterest using one of those connecting math manipulatives where they roll a letter and have to find an object that begins with that letter until they get bingo. These are some storyboards that I bought from Target, and these were really fun. We did this at Halloween, and I found some Pinterest printouts where you roll a story, like each number represents some part of the story, be it the character or the plot or the setting, things like that. And then I also got her these blank books from Target has them, and based on what we wrote on our storyboards, we would craft the story together, where I would typically do the writing and then she would draw the pictures. So just a couple other resources here that we use a lot. I love these flashcards. I like to call them living flashcards because they have real life pictures on them, which I think is a great, easier way for kids to learn their sounds when they're looking at a real, animal. On the flip side, though, I also really do love these Waldorf cards because they're very whimsical. And I can link these. I got those on Amazon. And yeah, they're very pretty. I don't have anything against them. I definitely think that it's maybe easier to learn the letters when you can relate them to something real. But these are really pretty, and these are fun to hang up on the wall too. These very short word puzzles are a great resource. I got these at Target. Really great for my 4-year-old too. I'm sure most of you have seen this magnetic toy, but this one has been really great for letter recognition as well and differentiating between upper and lower case. Something else that we have loved about our language arts this year has been the book seeds from Blossom and Root. So while this is actually their science bundle, each book seeds is based on a piece of literature, and it's always some really beautiful living book that has such wonderful ways of tying in some great discovery into a child's imagination. Each issue also has wonderful hands-on activities, and so this has been one of our favorite parts to both our language arts and science curriculums this year. Another big part to Blossom and Root's language arts program is their encouragement to use story baskets. So this is a totally new concept for us, but it is really wonderful. It's not something that we do every week, but Blossom and Root really encourages you to put a basket together of, certain play materials, backdrops, or, handmade trees. They have you make these story stones to help a child retell the story in simple terms. And then these wooden peg dolls are really fun to create for, the given character that you've read about. My daughter loves to videotape herself, so we have also been videotaping her retelling these stories through play, and it's been really charming.
Lawson, I was running too far. Well,
I think of all the books that we read this year, Frederick was my favorite. I have never read this story before. Oh my goodness, you guys, if you haven't, it is such a lovely winter story. And then Blossom and Root suggested that you do a play, a reenactment of Frederick with these really cute mouse printouts that they provide. And the kids had a lot of fun with this. Another very exciting way that we've incorporated language arts is to actually set language arts up as a unit study. So for this one in particular, and this was suggested by Blossom and Root, that when reading the Cinderella story, you read many different versions of it. I didn't even know there were a bunch of different versions, but in countries all over the world, they have retold this story, and our language arts curriculum gave us some titles. I was luckily able to find a few at the library, and so I set up this unit. We did it around October when we were already doing a pumpkin study, so it felt very appropriate to tie those in. And then we read all of these different versions of Cinderella from around the world. So then we also were able to make this a geography study as well. And then this was another language arts unit study we did comparing the Snow Queen to Elsa in Frozen. So obviously, as you can imagine, this went over pretty well. And I just used some of the toys and things that we had. These these silk scarves from A Child's Dream have been really fun setting up our unit studies. Adding in any kind of props, I think, can just help entice the child for sure. So this was pretty fun, and as you can see, I have a Frozen fan. So the last thing I'll mention about our language arts is that I did try to incorporate a poetry tea time. We did this for maybe the first couple of weeks of the school year, and it soon fizzled out. I think it's because we tried to do it later in the afternoon after school was already over, and school is already sort of a new concept to my kids. And so gathering back together at a table to read a book felt a little schoolish to them, even with the cookies and the milk. But it is really something I would love to incorporate in our homeschools, so hopefully we will come back to this. Okay, friends, that is all. Thank you so much for sticking with me on this video today. And if you like what we're doing, if you like the resources that we're using and some of these ideas, please consider subscribing to my channel or follow me on Instagram.